Where is she? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Alright, Larson. Come with us.
Okay.
We may have found a solution for this cannabis cigarette problem.
Here we go.
Good trick. I go in there.
Okay. Interrogation time. The interrogation room.
Visitation room, Larson.
Mm-hmm. Who am I visiting?
Us.
Or who's visiting me?
Plus.
That's actually a good point. I should check telegrams. It's been a while.
Follow in.
Am I allowed to smoke my own cigarette?
Sure. We're just gonna wait for Phelan.
Mm.
All right. Phelan,
Yeah.
whenever you're ready.
Okay. Larson,
Mm.
do you know anything about that body we found on the shore?
No.
Okay. That's fine. Um, you haven't, like, overheard the inmates talking about anything? Nothing like that?
No.
Okay. Well, the issue we're having now is given the last, I don't know, 36, 48 hours. Yeah, that little inmate outside, what's his name, Kyle? we were shown empty wallet out the back at the big old building, you know, the workshop. It happened to have some means of identification for a Mr. Thomas Wallard. Which conveniently also matches up with the
hat.
hat, the shirt of the body that we found on the shore. So I'm trying to figure out how that wallet got into the courtyard. So, not only did we find some hair caught in the bush, we also found some sort of hanging off the stitching in that leather wallet. Now, I know Siska isn't necessarily the cleanest place. I know it can be hard to keep everyone's hair in a nice condition, I suppose. Don't think we have hairbrushes on the island. But as far as I'm aware, you're the only person with blonde hair. Naturally blonde hair. Although, what would you describe it as currently? Ginger?
Strawberry.
Strawberry blonde?
Mm.
What was that you said the other day, Moxie? It wasn't ginger?
Mm-mm.
More strawberry blonde, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, most color, paint, dyes, things like that, all be stripped away by a wonderfully fucking powerful solvent, like acetone. Now, acetone is also used in breaking down some of the key ingredients in opium, so it's widely available in pretty much any medical facility. Now, I need you to explain to me how I'm able to make strawberry blonde hair become just blonde hair.
Now I bet if we get a warrant to collect a hair sample from you, if we run that same test, we would get the same results. Should I make that request now, or should I wait for you to tell us the truth?
Make the request.
Well, that was easy.
What was?
Alright, so
Do you, Phelan, do you understand what she just said?
yeah, that's what I'm trying to work around right now. So you want us to do something we don't really have to do. just to cut off some of your hair.
I mean, you don't have to do it.
Well,
I'm just gonna reach over and grab one of my hairs.
No, well,
No.
with that, make the request. It's basically inadvertently having some sort of admission.
You're gonna have to explain that to me. Because I sure as shit didn't say I did it.
Luckily, I do believe that there's a senior deputy up there on the clock right now. So we can get that warrant here pretty quickly, can't we? I'll give the LEO's telegram line a ring.
Oh, spicy, so spicy. So what they have is a piece of evidence that Ash was present at the crime scene and moved evidence, but they don't have proof that she murdered. So it can go to court. But right now they don't have evidence. But they have enough to have really high suspicion on her. Like, this is really strong, reasonable suspicion that Ash is involved in the murder. They just don't have the proof to say it was her who did it.
And now we play the waiting game.
yeah. Listen, I'm more than happy to try and get fucking cannabis cigarettes on the island. But that's technically a reward if it ain't sold in the shop. And we just want to know what happened.
I don't know.
Ash. Your body language earlier speaks louder than what you are doing now.
Feel free to explain.
Listen, I'm going the respectful route of getting a warrant for a hair test. I can run on over to the medical area right now, grab some acetone and rub it in your hair, and we can see what happens. I can probably get a magnifying glass or microscope or whatever, right? I can get a microscope right now. Wait until one of your hairs fall out and compare the two.
She's like, I'm not cooperating with this. That's her mindset right now. She's like, I'm not helping you do your jobs fucking work for it, is what she's saying.
Your silence is deafening, Ash. Very deafening.
Are you worried about something, Larson?
I'm worried about my broken toes. I sure
Just
hope
your
I
broken
heal
toes.
properly.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know. It all just seems very convenient, very coincidental.
What does?
The fact that finding quite a lot of hair just lying around for whatever reason. But then the other thing that's troubling me, Teach mentioned he found quite a big pair of boots under your bed.
It's unrelated.
A little bit bigger than your feet, aren't they?
Oh, those.
Yeah.
Those are boots I found in the cell block. God, maybe 3-4 weeks ago now.
What did you do with them?
You must know I was going to make moonshine in them.
Oh, Jesus.
I think it's called boot shine.
I see.
So if I find those boots and I look for any markings, I won't find the initials TW in them.
You're free to look at them. But
No,
they
I
look to me
doubt
like
that.
standard issue prisoner boots.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably
Well,
still under my cell unless Teach took them, so you may as well go and get them.
No, they're still in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, primary cause for concern is Mariner reported to us saying that 2 inmates were fucking running around all crazy like to and from the cemetery island. Which I'm sure you're more aware of. You know where the cemetery island is, right?
Remind me.
A little ways out. Once you leave the dock, you go straight ahead. It's like a little bit of the archipelago. Small,
We
few trees.
buried a few of those logos that got shot a few months ago.
There you go. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I know the one.
Yeah, that's where a lot of folk tend to get buried. Well, probably hard to tell now since we've been walking all over the damn place. When we first got there, 2 sets of boot prints. And a third.
Okay.
Now, even if you are just not, talking about this, you're not cooperating, you're lying, whichever, and you are one of the people involved in this, well, let's face it, just outright murder of some fella, that's only half the issue. Because I still got to figure out who the other person is. Do you think it's going to fuck up your chances of parole?
What, if I murdered someone, is that gonna fuck up my parole?
Mm-hmm.
I think we both know the answer to that.
Well, currently the only ones aware of it are the DOP. And we have 2 culprits, but only 1 suspect.
They don't know the Casper's involved.
Gee, I was going to say, teach.
Mm-hmm. What about Teach?
Yeah, nothing. I'm a little bit closer to the pipe than you are. Okay. You talk to Kyle much?
No.
Because as much as I'd love to try and assume that he's part of it, since he's helped us find something, he does seem a little bit too ditzy to be involved in something like that.
What the fuck does ditzy mean?
Dumb and adorable.
Dumb and adorable. I love that.
Heart of gold, but a brain like jelly. So let's say, hypothetically, you're involved in the rather brutal murder of just some fella that ended up at the wrong place at the wrong time. Who would you bring with you on that little escapade?
Sounds like a great thing for another guard to witness.
True. But I'm pretty sure a guard wouldn't just stand by and watch you beat someone up. And then, by the looks of the body, drown them.
You think even if I was involved, that I would give the name of someone else?
I don't know, aren't you Ashen and gangs all about ratting each other out for the sake of a bit of freedom?
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Well,
What's the word? Snitches get stitches.
yeah, but
Rat
stitches
Saracen
heal.
is dead.
Yeah, that much is true.
Ash,
What?
can I search your hat, please?
No. Why the fuck do you want to search my hat?
Let me search your hat.
I'm not hiding a weapon in there, if that's what you're thinking.
Let me have your hat. Phelan,
Yeah.
do you still have the acetone on you, or do I have to go get it?
I do still have a bit on me, yeah.
Knock yourself out.
Oh, can I?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Let's see, Moxie.
Well, I can ask for Senior Deputy Mr. Langston to come on over. This is solid of enough evidence for me. What do you think?
You're asking me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Unless you could think of any better alternatives. Although saying that Langston's probably the best bet, because I'm pretty sure if we think of anyone else, Miss Larsen here will just want to beat the shit out of them.
You can put your hat back on. I'll send a telegram for him to come over.
Alright.
There was another person there, Ash. I expect you to get talking. Because I don't think you're going to be the only one going down with this. You're not that type of person. Correspondence was sent. If you could please give me a moment.
Yeah.
Actually, was it Clyde that helped you out? Not Clyde Casper. My mistake.
I was going to say Clyde Jack. Jesus.
No. It must have been Casper. Because to be quite honest, we're just going to rifle down through every single inmate until they say something over and over and over again. And for not talking, I think we can find a suitable punishment for every single one of them.
They.
Casper's leg seems to be in a lot of pain. Could probably work around that. Probably take away his prosthetic hand.
Oh.
Better yet, I have a good idea. Might get people talking. I know someone that would love to get their hands on this investigation. Especially for Ash.
It's a
And who
dude.
would that be?
As much as I fucking hate them.
Who?
What was his name again, Larsen? Tate?
Oh, yes. Yes, Tate. That new Elio, right?
Is the... I think he's just a deputy or a senior deputy or something, but he does prosecution work, so... And I've already seen him do prosecution work with Ms. Larsen. And my fucking god, it's insufferable.
Well, why not? Why not have him come over when he clocks in? Because Ash isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
That's the worst part. He might not even have to come over.
No, probably
He
not.
could just deal with the prosecution at the court case for the parole hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he'd love to find out all about this.
It's going to be a long court case, isn't it?
And as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure he just does not deal with... I'd say he's more guilty until proven innocent, really.
Oh, what's wrong, Ash?
Would you like to inform the captain of your last interaction with Mr. Forrest?
Let me guess, they had tea. I'm gonna check telegrams.
Alright.
Your silence is still as deafening as before, Ash.
Let's check the sheriff's line, see if any of them have clocked in. I thought the Ashen only sold out other people, but not their own. As far as I'm aware, you're the only member of the Ashen in here. Not even going to try and pin all the blame on someone else and say you were just forced along into it because you had broken toes or I don't know. Because you're a lady. You didn't want to intrude on them. Was it Clyde Jack? It wasn't Clyde Jack.
That reminds me, you have a wagon wheel to fix.
Are you any good at fixing wagons, Larson?
Well, she can learn.
That's true. Tend to look after most of them. Same with the horses. It is surprisingly easy. It's making the spokes that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking pain in the
Well,
ass.
have you ever made anything that's a circle that has to be balanced correctly? I'm actually curious if you did any type of hard labor other than robbing and killing people.
She's just like, nope. Nope. I'm
I
not.
know there's another person that I know is blonde, but definitely couldn't be him because he wasn't in here when this happened.
You're not talking about Mr. Jackson, are you?
No. Shelby Lord. He's also Ashen, if I recall correctly. Is he not?
Surprised, she's like,
Shelby
what?
was in
No.
here a few days ago.
They're gonna think
My
Shelby's
body was starting to
involved?
bloat, which means, I don't know, I was
Oh
sitting
my
there for at
God.
least 3 days. Maybe 2.5 days. Do we know when Shelby got out?
Ah!
I don't possibly
I think it might be
know,
Shelby.
but
It's not Shelby.
Because Mr. Lord was involved in a bank robbery. With the Ashen of all people. Made quite a bit of money from what I heard.
How about that?
Only reason I heard is because they were cheering while they had a gun to my head telling me not to do anything stupid. It's wonderful being held hostage for a bank robbery. Although why Shelby was there, I'm not too sure. On Christmas Day as well, can you believe it?
And we could also get a warrant for Mr. Lord's arrest as well for being a suspect because he also has blonde hair. Don't know if he dyes it though.
No, but they could get him detained.
Yeah.
Can't arrest someone.
Only
on
difference
suspicion.
is he wouldn't be here. He'd be locked up in some sheriff's office around the state.
Mm-hmm.
dealing with fuck knows who. What's going to happen when Jethro inevitably ends up in here? For kidnapping a fucking deputy state marshal, watchman, and, you know, a civilian, but they're still an important civilian. And robbing a bank with all that's a lot of time he's looking at. Hell, I'm surprised his poster's not up on the board.
I could have made a sound. I didn't think to. It's like, I'm not giving them shit.
I'll leave you two in here for a moment.
Works when you come back and switch out with you.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, I need a lawyer. She's gonna get a lawyer for this. John Gallows is the name she keeps hearing. I think she's gonna reach out to him.
To be quite honest, see if you can get your my like look at it. I had to do forensic.
Ugh. Need a coffee, Miss Larsen? Tea?
No.
Ginger ale? Whiskey?
Yes.
Ha. Yeah, take it even with a couple of sips of whiskey. Wouldn't even loosen your lips a little bit, huh?
I like whiskey. That's all she's gonna say.
Yeah, it's true. You know, Santa was very kind to me this year and gave me 10 bottles, so I'm pretty well stocked. I don't even know how many shots that could make. Probably quite a lot.
You bring Tate Forrest in here. I can't make promises that I won't fucking strangle him.
You don't have to make any promises. But he won't be on the island. Although, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure he's prosecuting you on your parole hearing. Or at least he's representing the state anyway.
I told you that.
Oh, it's just a hunch.
He's
Given his
right.
performance at the last court case you had, I'm pretty sure he'd love to do another one.
Clearly.
Oh, you don't think he would?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
That's possibly a first. Bored. I'm gonna need some salt or something. Gonna have a heart attack here. So, here's what's confusing me, right? We're finding hair that kind of looks, you know, gingery, blondish, strawberry blonde, whatever you want to call it. But right up by the root, seems a bit more blonde. And the lower part seems a little bit more ginger. And then for some reason, dunking that in solvent is enough to dry it out, and it comes out blonde. That stuff's only acetone.
Congratulations. You found one of my hairs on an island that I live on.
But you know you're not meant to be all the way out to the cemetery island, don't you?
Been there before. I think every inmate has at some point.
Probably. Then the other question begs is, why have we found a fucking wallet with Thomas's name in it? And more of that damn hair.
Again, I live on this island. I'm not surprised my hair gets in all the little nooks and crannies. I have a lot of hair.
But Mr. Wallard doesn't live on this island. Nobody knows a Mr. Wallard. And yeah, we got a nice fucking leather billfold in the courtyard. So how'd it get from his body on the shore all the way to the courtyard?
Maybe Kyle has sticky fingers.
He probably does. It wouldn't surprise me, if I'm honest. But Kyle ain't ginger. His hair's as black as coal. And also, it's quite short. Pretty sure it's not as long as this. Oh, shit.
Do you have separated from what you found at the scene and what we just did? Phelan.
What was that, Moxie?
I said, as a question, do you have the samples separated from what you found on scene versus what we just did not moments ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll need one strand from each.
All right. Just be careful with that stuff.
These things are amazing. I actually found out one of the causes of death from somebody when I was a funeral director and things like that was cyanide poisoning. You can find out through their hair as well. Okay. Hmm. Fascinating.
Jump, Moxie.
Oh dear.
Let me guess. Totally
You
different.
should probably look yourself. Compare the slides. Let me
Jesus.
slide it over to you. You're already sitting.
Oh, yeah.
What you want to do is you want to look in the middle of each hair follicle. People don't know this, but some people don't know this, but your hair follicles are actually quite hollow and are made of the same composite
It's true.
setup as your fingernails. So
They look freaky, you know. And
Okay.
yeah.
So what, the
Or
ones
you guys
that are
will
all
take
sort of
that.
like open or what?
just look in the middle,
The middle of it.
like the center of it. You can see some strands inside. It's just the way it was.
Oh, right.
Yes.
What am I looking for with the hair?
Yeah. You're comparing the follicles between each other. Everyone's hair follicle is practically like your fingerprint. They're all different. But it's identical with that person.
Let's see.
Everyone's hair follicle is different.
Oh.
And look at the color gradient.
Oh, gradient.
Between the dye
Oh.
and her natural hair color.
The hell?
She uses a natural dye for it. It's quite surprising how well it sticks in her hair because I've seen some dyes that don't work as well. So
That would explain why you're still a little bit ginger then. Hmm.
Ash, explain. Explain yourself, please. You know, you not saying anything won't save you now.
I mean, you're doing science experiments with hair. I don't really know how that affects me in any way.
Well, I'd say it affects you in the way that it's your hair.
Okay.
Places
So you
you at the
say.
scene.
Yeah, so you say. It does place her at the scene though. That's pretty clear. It's gonna be a good fucking court case though. Oh my god.
You're right there, Larson. Need another cigarette?
I have my own.
Okay.
I just realized you can see their breathing through the window. There's 3 people back there. Ash wouldn't be able to see that though. Like, I'm gonna pretend Ash don't know. There's absolutely 3 people behind that glass. I mean, Ash is already just not giving them what she could so easily slip up on. Like, I'm giving them hints that she's lying. I'm absolutely giving them hints. It's clear. Like, they know she did it. They know she did it. But she's not gonna admit to it. This is first-degree murder we're talking about. And if she gets convicted with this, no more chance of parole. She's done. That's her life. She could get capital. She could very well get capital for that. Do I want to give her capital for a local death? Not really. I think I'd want to just take away all chance at parole. She's going to live the rest of her life in Siska Penitentiary. But she killed someone in Siska, right? So it's like, at the very least, I think this removes any chance that she has a parole. Because she's going to be... Someone's coming in.
Well, looks like there's some news for you, Ash. Someone's looking at capital right down the barrel. And I'm looking at that somebody. God, I couldn't imagine looking down the barrel of capital punishment. That's astounding, Ash. Like how I asked you yesterday, what kind of wood do you want for your casket? For your casket, yeah, that's one hell of a question. I mean, I have a catalog here, a mail order catalog that can get you all types of wood for your casket if you want to build your own. They have southern yellow pine, which is trusted in construction for its durability and structure. There's red oak. There's Paduke. Cocobolo is very interesting, but it's more known for carving. But it's quite interesting what you can get your hands on. Hell, I actually just not too long ago built my own casket, and I got goose down feathers for the inside. I don't want to be uncomfortable. With dark purple silk to cover it. It's going to be pretty nice.
Fucking hell. That's a very
Yeah, I'll be happy with a box that's on fire.
Box on fire. What are you, a Viking?
No. If I die, I'd rather there be nothing left of me.
I understand that. I wouldn't want to look at your gravesite. Hell, I have a hard time looking at you.
Get fucked.
I've been trying. So anyway. Yeah, capital punishment. God, that electric chair looks really uncomfortable, and I don't think a rope would look like a very good necktie on you, Ash.
This is so juicy. This is
It's going to be
so
very
juicy.
interesting, the fact that your last moments in your last view will be concrete walls here in Sisica. What will
That
Casper
does.
think? What would Shelby think? Hell, maybe we can get you buried over there at Cemetery Island.
Ooh.
They're using scare tactics. This is what she's telling herself. They're using scare tactics. They're using scare
Casper
tactics.
had to bury that person, you know that? Had to help out. Yes.
She's like, she's keeping herself from panicking. She's breathing deeply. She's like, this is where it counts. They're trying to scare me because they don't have it yet. They don't have what they need. That's what she's telling herself. All they know is that I was there. And they can hit me with obstruction as much as they want, but I'm not going to tell them that I killed him. Those are her thoughts right now. She's like, nope.
Evelyn would like to speak to you, Phelan.
What's that?
Evelyn would like to speak to you.
Oh. Okay.
They're not leaving her alone in the room. She's like, I just want to be alone right now. That's what she wants right now.
It's gonna be a shame about that person, that TW guy. His mother's going to wonder where her son is.
That doesn't affect Ash so much because she doesn't have a
Not
good
being
relationship
able
with her
to
family.
see him come home again. Ever again.
She does not have a lot of sympathy for
Just
others.
wrapped him up in cloth and put him in a hole. Didn't even get a proper service.
She's going to refuse to take responsibility for that. Because in her mind, they're the ones who chose how he was buried.
See, you may
not her.
hate me right now. You may hate me right now. That is absolutely for certain. But I know someone that would hate you more than you hate me right now, and that is the victim's family. It seems like the Ashen is going to dwindle because someone's going to be getting capital.
They're just trying to scare her, and she's telling herself that. They're just trying to scare
That's a
me.
big thing right there, is capital, isn't it? Wouldn't you say, Phelan?
Yeah. It's pretty serious.
You know I fucking heard you the first time.
Yeah, and? What's your point?
Repeating it over and over again is just...
Is it driving the point home? What is it?
No, it's making you look desperate.
Nah.
Desperate for what?
Desperate for what? Yeah, exactly. Your behavior is rather projecting. You understand that, right?
It's like, anyone in my seat would be fucking nervous.
God. Shelby isn't going to be able to see you again unless if it's a visitation.
She doesn't give a shit about Shelby. Not in that way.
I don't think he'll ever have any point in his life where he isn't wanted for something.
That's fair.
Same with Jethro, to be fair.
Oh, is Jethro Ashen?
What?
Jethro's the leader of the Ashen. What do you mean?
Oh, Mr. TB himself.
A little bit of a flame of Miss Larsen as well, I believe. Oh, I don't really know what happens there.
Nah. Neither do I. Gosh, I wonder how far gone Mr. Jethro is with his progression of tuberculosis. God, I heard it's awful.
I think I did hear him cough a few times while we were at that bank robbery.
It's a shame. You know, there's a thing called the death rattle.
Yeah.
When your body can't control its fluids. And all of a sudden, when every time you breathe, you hear a rattling sound, and that's your body shutting down. I wonder if he's going to be able to hear it while he's on his bed.
You piece of shit! Fucking leave him alone!
Oh, what are you going to do?
Fucking leave him out of this.
But the fact that you killed somebody. What's his response going to be hearing your fate? I understand that you're angry that we got you.
Oh, man.
Tell me how you really feel. How does it feel to kill somebody? That's what I want to know. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the gallows, shooting gallery, chair?
Damn it, Moxie. Fucking stop.
I bet you that's what the person was saying when you were trying to kill him.
Good day, everyone.
Oh, Miss Blackheart.
How's everything going in here?
Oh, I think if looks could kill, I'd be fucking murdered right now. I'd probably be in that hole where that gentleman is.
I've been offered the unique opportunity to offer Miss Larsen if she'd like. She and I can speak instead.
Ooh.
Get him out of here.
Not even a please?
Go fucking die, Moxie.
I will. That's a tall order. Write them letters. Someone will let you know when it's when it's your parole hearing. It won't be wedding white.
All right, you just leave the door unlocked in case she decides to go crazy or some shit.
Of course.
But we'll see. All right, Miss Larsen, how are you doing? Are you actually standing or are you seated?
Standing.
Okay. Are you able to just have a seat for me? So, Miss Larsen, how are you doing today? Besides the obvious.
What do you want from me?
I'm just here to talk to you. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you what to do and what not to do. I'm not going to sit here and drag this on any longer than it needs to. I'm just going to make you aware of your situation. And that's all I'm going to do.
Enlighten me then.
Well, Miss Larsen, if you were somehow involved in this, somehow, some way, in any way, shape, or form, it only benefits you to be truthful about it because, as I've told you before, any amount of wrongdoing, lying, or any uncovering that people have to do makes your case look immensely worse when you go to file an appeal to get the fuck out of here. Because I'm sure you do want to leave Sissica at some point, correct?
Obviously.
Right, it's a shithole here. It sucks. You have to look at me, you have to look at Mr. Cornett, you have to look at all the other watchmen. It's an unfortunate circumstance. Also, if any investigation has to be done, it'll most likely be done by legal and a detective division of LEO, which might involve you talking with Mr. Tate Forrest, who I understand you don't like very much. Is that correct?
Tate Forrest is a piece of shit.
I don't particularly care for how he handled things with Mr. Dunn, but things are what they are, and they happen, and you and I talked in great detail about that night, didn't we?
Oh, fuck.
I did speak those concerns to the command here at the prison, and it has definitely been notated. Because I can't imagine you would want anyone coming up to your face and spitting about Ashen and Jethro with TB and all this other shit just to get a rise out of you, right? I imagine you'd get real pissed off if that happened.
If.
I mean, it's not an unrealistic possibility, Ms. Larsen.
What do you think they were just fucking doing?
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna wet white or whatever the fuck was being said. You know me, Miss Larsen. I'm straight to the point, blunt. I don't like to talk in riddles or talk in things like that.
See the smoke from a cigarette behind the glass?
Your situation isn't easy, and if you weren't involved, that's great. That means you have nothing to worry about, nothing to hide, and that's great. And I'm happy for you.
Great. Then I wasn't involved.
All right. If that's what you say, and that's what happened, then that's great. If it's not, then well, you've already been told extensively about the potential consequences of that. So I have no desire to continue going down that line of questioning with you. Do you know anything about what happened at the very least?
No.
Did you see anything?
No.
I notice your hair is a bit different color-wise again. At least it seems like it is. Doesn't look as bright as before.
Strawberry blonde. I think it's pretty well known at this point that I dyed my hair a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the dye's pretty fucking permanent.
If I remember, I gave you a lot of shit over that, and poked a lot of fun at you in a friendly manner. There's not a lot of inmates that share your hair color or style or length of hair.
So
Not
I've
a lot
been
of
told.
long-haired ginger people coming through, except you and me.
So I've been told.
So, I can imagine why you would imagine that there'd be quite a lot of suspicions directed at you, right?
Sure.
I haven't even
Hello.
been around the prison in like a
Door.
week.
Ah.
So the 2 or 3 people that have long ginger hair at the prison was cut in a third or even in half, potentially, depending on who you ask.
Mm.
So, I'm only going to ask one more time, and then I'm finished. Did you see or know anything about what happened?
No.
Okay.
Clearly lying.
Well, I can't just sit here and drag it out of you or whatever. So if that's what happened and that's true, then that's great. If that's not true and that's not what happened, then there'll be an issue down the road. But I'm sure you're not adverse to things happening down the road. That's typically what happens in your profession, right? You do something now and then face the consequences for it later.
How to stop moving the camera? That's oh man.
As you
like this-
recall, I was going to be the one prosecuting your case against Miss Melody Kennedy.
I remember.
And I believe I did you quite the service, giving you the deal that you got to take.
Mm.
I know very well I could have drilled you on a harder charge, but decided to make things easier for you since you were willing to take responsibility.
That was an attempted first, and you know it.
Stabbing the daylights out of somebody is an attempted first?
No.
Well, what
didn't
is
want to
attempted
kill her.
first then? You didn't want to kill her, but it's what was going to happen if you didn't. You didn't provide the basic help that she needed to live.
And yet I provided medical after.
Doesn't make it not attempted murder.
I didn't say it was an attempted murder. I said it was an attempted first.
That's to be debated. Anyway, the point is I'm just not just out here to fuck you over and make sure you have it the most terrible time possible. I'm not someone that's going to go out of my way to make your life miserable. I'm here to do a job, and I'm here to do it to the best of my ability. I'm here to impress
Is
anybody.
that Rose?
You know, I don't get some Christmas bonus
The marshal's here
if you
too.
come out and say that you did it or didn't do it. Okay? I'm just here to appeal to your sense of reason in the sense that I appealed to it back then. You know as well as I do, someone can't take a piece of hair and say, Ash Larsen murdered that person. Or what have you. You know as well as I do, right?
Don't know. Never worked law enforcement.
Well, you certainly know what the fuck the difference between first and second degree murder is, don't you?
I did the research on that.
Well,
Especially
it's like
when
you
I
can
found
do the
out
research
attempted
here,
bursts would put me
right?
closer to heinous offender.
Heinous offender, and yet you ended up with life in prison anyway. Just later, right? Just later. Doesn't happen. Doesn't matter what happens now, right? It matters what happens later. Anyway, I don't have anything further to say or ask you or what have you. If you just decide to change your mind, maybe I can talk about giving you a few days to be within the grace period of admitting anything that you might know before it comes back to bite you in the ass. But if you don't know anything, you didn't see anything, then that shouldn't be a problem, right? What was that?
Right.
Right. I'll say 3 days for you to talk to someone in case you do know something. But if you don't, then that's great.
Fine.
All right, Miss Larson. I'm quite finished. I'll see if anyone else wants to speak to you, and then you'll be. I'm sure they'll let you get back out to serving the rest of your life sentence.
Mm. Oh my god, there's 5 DOP online right now. Here's the thing. So they have the hairs, and they can prove that it's Ash's hair found at the scene of the crime. Great. That puts her in very heavy suspicion for having been involved in some way. But they can't prove that she's the one who killed him. They have no proof of that. They know that there's a second person that was there, a second witness, a second inmate. So that's, they don't know if she's the one who killed him. They are pretty certain that she knows what happened and that she's hiding it. I mean, the fact that she saw the wallet, right? That her hair's in the wallet is pretty fucking strong evidence. It's stronger even than the hair being present at the scene. Because as she said, I live here. My hair could be anywhere. But in the wallet is unlikely to happen just happenstance. That's, someone would have had to open the wallet and the hairs would have fallen in or gotten stuck in somehow. It's not something that would just happen from living on the same island. So that's pretty strong evidence right there. That her hair being in the wallet means that she at some point must have come into contact with this wallet. There's a very low chance someone would
I
have
can
grabbed
borrow
her
you
hairs
for a couple minutes
and thrown it in the wallet.
before you go and do all your other stuff that you need to do.
So that, yeah, so there's Evelyn. Like, this is giving her a headache. This is very stressful. This is a very stressful situation to be in. She did it. She knows that they can't prove that she did it yet, but there's still chances that they will. And if there's enough evidence stacked up against her, then they're going to charge her with first-degree murder. If Casper talks, she's fucking done. Like, there's evidence placing her at the scene of the crime. He would be convicting himself in his admission that he was there and didn't report it before. But at the end, you know, his confession... The fuck was that sound? His confession's enough for her to get caught, I think. I think it would be enough for them to push the charge. And then she'd have to fight it in court, which she absolutely will. If this goes to court, if they push the charge, she's pleading not guilty. I didn't do it. She's just gonna keep on saying, I didn't do it. I was not involved. Despite the fact that she very clearly was. Like, they all know she did it. The question is, can they prove it? And we gave them a lot of evidence to work with, and Casper is more than willing to be broken in an interrogation, but they have to do the work. If she does go to court for this, I don't know what kind of punishment I'm willing to go with, because realistically speaking, killing a local man while in Sisika, when you're already a lifer, that's capital worthy. First degree murder, no remorse, no concern for human life. Minimum, she loses any chance of parole and she's to live the rest of her life in Sisika Penitentiary. Maximum capital. Like, she's very much... They would push heavily for capital if they say she's guilty with first degree murder. I think this might be the end of Ash Larsen's story. I think it might be getting close, because if she gets found guilty of first degree murder, honestly, I don't see this going any other way.
All right, good news for you, Miss Larsen. No one else wants to speak to you, so...
I'm free to go.
Well, free to go back outside to prison, yeah. "3 days, Miss Larsen.